I cracked myself up. I still haven't found my first Blanton's.
That's different. I really like that.
They're like together, like peas and carrots.
That's funny. Sometimes accidents are good things. Peychaud's or Peychaud's or Peychaud.
This is not what I expected.
Hey, it's Thursday, and it's time. And I know what you're wondering. I know you're wondering why these bottles, or you can't see them anyway. Why are these bottles out on the table? I need to adjust things a little bit, I guess. It's because I was at a tasting last Saturday. Virtual, they gave me the bottles, and I got to taste them online with like a dozen other people, and it was great fun with the Maumee Valley Whiskey Society. They have an event going on tonight, so I know that there's going to be some people not joining us because they're going to be doing their event, which is fabulous. I'm glad they're doing it. I hope they sold out. But in the meantime, we're going to be here, and we're going to be doing a review. Now, these bottles may surprise you. So, what they were, I'm going to tell you how they rated, and you're going to be blown out of your mind. Okay, so there are 6 bottles here. This is number 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, oh, I guess you can just barely see them. All right. So the one that came in last, about a dozen of us, like I said, were on this, and the one that came in last was number 6. And believe it or not, yeah, number 6 was Blanton's. Of all of them, number 6 was last. Is that right? Did I get that right? But Blanton's didn't do as well as, you know, all the horsey chasers think that Blanton's should have done. And for that matter, neither did Henry McKenna, which kind of surprises me because that's a fantastic pour. I've always really liked it. But now let's get on to the Evan Williams 1783 small batch. Let's get on to it. This is the sample I was given, so this is what I'm going to drink out of. This bottle obviously was already opened. That's pretty good. This was originally an Absolute vodka. Probably like an airplane bottle. Isn't that cool? I love repurposing. All right, so a little bit about the Evan Williams. So the Evan Williams 1783 small batch honors the year that Evan Williams himself founded Kentucky's first distillery, having been around for a number of years. In May 2021, Heaven Hill reintroduced the brand, and they changed it from 86 proof to 90 proof, updated the bottle, did a bunch of different design changes on it, with a more premium looking package, I suppose you could say. Kind of like me, a premium looking package. Let's see, this is, the small batch bourbon is the second highest proof in the Evan Williams family, right behind the bottled and bond at 100 proof. It's pulled from less than 300 barrels, so it is supposed to be a small batch. The mash bill is 78% corn, 12% malted barley, and 10% rye. It is a inexpensive pour. It's about 20 bucks. And it might be a little bit more than that now. But it's not a very expensive pour. I've always liked everything I've ever had from Evan Williams. We talked about Evan Williams a little bit last week. Hey Tom, how are you? Hey Jeff Tish, how are you? We talked about the Evan Williams 100 proof a little bit last week, and the fact that, did we? Or was it on Saturday? I don't know. All my days are together now because it's been that kind of a day. It's been a hectic day. Anyway, I was saying to somebody that I thought that the sorry, distracted. The 100 proof, to me, had great flavor, but it was a little bit rough, a little bit harsh, maybe seeming young to me on the mouthfeel. There are other ones that have a softer, more creamier feel that have a higher proof that I like a lot better. The viscosity is better, whereas Evan Williams seems to be a little bit stripped bare of the viscosity that I like. The 100 proof, the bottled and bond, the white label. So let's see what we think about this one. I didn't get a ton of knowledge on this because, again, it was a hectic day. I had a full day of work, and I just got done like a little while ago. Crammed some supper down my gullet, and here I am. All right. Ooh, that's nice. Cinnamon is the first thing that I got. Yeah, it's really nice. A little bit of bleach. Now, this is, again, what I tell you isn't necessarily indicative that it isn't any good. As a matter of fact, I like this smell. And what came to nose was shoe leather. You know, like a leather shoe, a brand new shoe right out of the box. How good that smells. Yeah, that's what you do. This is the new set, by the way. It's temporary. But, you know, I wanted to do something a little bit different. So, doing something just a little bit different. Eventually, I will actually build the set, and it'll be complete. This is kind of hung up with duct tape. Duct tape! But this is what we're going to do for a little while anyway, until I get myself organized and can get an actual studio built. All right. Yeah, that cinnamon is really nice. And again, this is not a cracked pour. This came out of the sample bottle. And I've left enough for some water and some ice. Some really nice salted caramel is deep in there. Salted. There's a salt contingent to it. There's some vanilla in there. Yeah. The oak is nice. That may be the shoe leather I was getting, is that oak. So, okay. I did not look to see if there was an age statement on the bottle. I do not see one. So that means it's got to be at least 4 years. Extra aged in white oak, it says. Okay. All right. Let's give it. Chris is watching. Hey, Chris, how are you? Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Good to see you. Well, good to know that you're seeing me. All right. Let's give this a shot. Okay, it's hanging onto the glass quite nicely. So the alcohol in there is holding up. That 90 proof hits hard for 90 proof. It punches above its weight for a 90 proofer. It is thin on the mouthfeel at first. I will revisit that as we go along and make sure that that what I'm telling you is consistent. But the first thing I got on the tip of my tongue was just kind of a watery mouthfeel. It didn't have a good, thick, silky, buttery type of viscosity to it, unfortunately. However, the bloom was very nice. It grew along the tongue just like you'd want it to. Very, very nice. And it does hit above its weight as far as proof goes. 90 proof, but it felt closer to 100 proof. So let's give it the old college try number 2. Yeah, it's still thin. Takes a little while for the flavor to set in. The proof wasn't as bad that time. It didn't hit me as hard on the second, but it never does, right? Once you get it on your palate and once you get your palate opened up and primed, the second pour is never really that bad. You can tell I've had it for the last day. I need to slow down. The flavors on the palate are not that much different than the nose, which is kind of interesting because sometimes they're way different. I may get something on the nose and think, hey, this is going to be fantastic. And then I get it in my mouth and it's like, that's not the same. Thank you for the like. I'm seeing stuff flashing on my screen. So, anyway, like I said, the nose is not betrayed on this because I'm getting that oaky note. It's not shoe leather, it's oak. I'm getting the cinnamon, a little bit of vanilla on the back, salted caramel. Okay, and slight orange zest. Now, when I say orange zest, what is that? Well, you can think about orange and how an orange tastes, right? But have you ever bitten into the rind? Or have you ever used part of that rind in your cooking with a zester, where you like scrape pieces off of it and throw it in your food? That is what I'm referring to. It's more bitter, it's less sweet, but it definitely has that orange-esque type of flavor. It just isn't as sweet. So when I say orange zest, I'm kind of pointing towards the rind, okay? Alrighty, well, let's do another one. I may not have enough for ice. I'll just open the bottle. There. All right. Thank you, Joey, for the tester. I appreciate that. All right. Add a little water. See what that does. Getting me right here. Getting a little bit of a num. All right. On water, on water. All right, here we go. That helped the mouthfeel a lot. It's still not up where I would like it to be as far as viscosity goes, but it helped the mouthfeel a lot. It also opened up those flavors. That orange rind is popping a lot more right now. There's a lot more cinnamon coming off of it too. Slight bit of honeycomb too. Again, it's not the sweetness of the honey. It's the structure of the comb, which, I don't know, I've never eaten it, but I imagine it would be a little more earthy than honey itself. I don't know. I used to eat honeycomb cereal. Does that count? No, it doesn't count. It's very, very sweet. All right, jumping on into it, yeah. Had a really nice conversation with a gentleman. He's out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. He started his very own bourbon page for beginners. And in the first video, he doesn't even drink anything. He just talks about whiskey and what his page is all about. And I haven't watched more than the first video, but he's giving this a try too. So, you know, it was a really nice discussion. And he doesn't have a lot of money for all these different pours, and they're not available to him in the area of Albuquerque that he lives in. But it was really cool to have that chat with him. It's always cool to talk with somebody who lives somewhere else in the country and they're watching your content. It's just amazing to me. You know? Oh, it's a screw top. Okay. No cork to pull. All right. That should be plenty for a good taste. Now, this is fresh crack, obviously. This didn't get cracked and then poured into another vessel. This was a fresh crack. So this may be it. You know what? I wonder how much different it is. Just a taste. Just to find out. Because sometimes the neck pour is a real thing and sometimes it isn't. Let's see if it is in this case. This will be fun. I actually like the neck pour a little bit better. The viscosity is a little bit better. A little more mouthfeel on it. Yeah. But the tastes are very, very similar. I do like this right off the neck. It's good. Okay. Yeah. All right. One of these days I'll bring a spoon down so I can do my stirring. Last night was margarita. Well, yesterday was margarita day. Did you celebrate? Huh? Did ya? Now, in the past, I've done Bourbcast with margaritas, but I always love my margaritas the same way. So, if you want to celebrate Margarita Day a day late, and you want to see how I make my margaritas, go back in the Wayback Machine, find it on Beautiful Bourbon here on the Facebook page, or find it on YouTube, and watch that video, because my recipe does not have a lot of sugar in it, and it doesn't have any hangover in it. Some of those mixes that you buy, you're going to wake up and you're going to feel that the next day. You're going to feel just sluggish and gross and headaches and because of all the sugar in it. I don't put that much sugar in it. I use a sweetened lime juice, which anybody can get. It's Rose's lime juice, and it's sweetened, but it doesn't have the sugar that like those kits have, those things. Michael's watching. I just found out last week that I could actually like click on this and see who's here and see who's talking and whatever. I didn't know I could do that. Learn new things from young people. All right, on ice, Evan Williams, 1783. Very nice, very flavorful. This would make a really nice pour for your old fashions, your Manhattans, your Sazeracs, any bourbon-esque. Kevin's watching. Hey, Kevin. I figured you'd be at the shindig, the Bourbon Steward shindig. But thank you for coming. I'm glad you're here. I'm not going to pick on you tonight. Right? We're doing the 1783 on ice. This is actually quite nice. It would stand up in a cocktail quite nicely. It's got a really nice flavor on ice. The shoe leather is back in a good way. And some of the flavors are a little bit darker. The oak is really coming out, but I'm also getting a dark fruit, like a date type of thing. Dates. And something else. Might be licorice, way back in the back. Just a tiny little note of licorice. Yeah, so the ice changed that a little bit. I think not necessarily for the better, but it changed it for sure. And I think it was good over ice. And there aren't a lot of bourbons that I'll say I like over ice, but this one I think is pretty good. I think it'd be a great base for a cocktail. Really, really nice. All right. I have no idea what I'm doing next week. I forgot to look. I don't remember. I think it might have been one of my new ones that I got while I was down south in Louisiana. But I don't have it handy and I didn't print it out, so I don't remember what it is. So stay tuned to the channel, and in the next couple of days, I'll put out a photo and you'll know what it is. So if you have the opportunity to get out to a store and see if you can find it, great. If you can't find it, then open up what you got. That's one of the things I told that gentleman from Albuquerque. I told him, I said, look, you gotta buy what you can. You know, if you can't afford anything over $25, then buy as many different bourbons at $25 or less than you can. And there's a lot of them out there, and some of them aren't too awful bad. They may only be 80 proofs. You know, there's a couple of them that are, 86, and there's a couple of them right around that 90 range, that 99 range. I think Ezra Brooks 99 is right around 25, 28 bucks, depending on where you are, of course. So I told him, I said, just buy what you can, when you can, and try new things. Try different things. He's just getting started. He's trying to understand it. He's been seeing the bourbon craze and he wants to get into it, but he doesn't have the means. He doesn't drive anymore, so somebody has to drive him to the liquor store. So our thoughts are with him as he starts this journey, and I hope he finds something new and fun to do, just like we have, right? So, all right, that's it. That's a quick one tonight. I'm going to get out of here. I have got a kitchen to clean. And we will see you next week with whatever it is that I'm going to be doing. So thank you for watching. Thanks for coming along on Beautiful Bourbon.